Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today we're going to be talking about what Christian Kirk brings to the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans just traded for Christian Kirk and brought him in for a 7th-round pick that wasn't even the Texans' draft pick. They got the 7th-round pick. So if you guys remember last offseason, the Texans traded for Rams wide receiver Ben Skoranek, and they gave up a 6th-round pick to get Ben Skoranek and got a 7th-round pick from Los Angeles in that trade. So it was a 6th-round pick for Skoranek and a 7th. And now the Houston Texans send that 7th they send that 7th to the Jags in this deal. So basically, the Houston Texans turned a 6th-round pick into Christian Kirk and Ben Skoranek, who played some solid preseason football. But I love this addition for the Texans. I'm going to talk about what he brings to this team and what he will help with. Here's the first thing I think he'll help with, which I think is key, and especially without Tank Dell next season, is helping with deep shots. This is a guy who, in his career, especially Jacksonville in the 2023 season, not as much as this season in 2024, and mainly because he missed 9 games this year. But I think something he did tremendously in 2023 and 2022 for this Jacksonville team is, running deep routes and connecting with Trevor Lawrence on deep shots. That's something that C.J. Stroud showed a lot of greatness in his rookie season of taking deep shots, and that's something that I thought was not as successful in his second season as it was in his first season. And I think a big reason why, just my opinion, I think a big reason why the Houston Texans were not successful with their deep passes this season as they were in C.J. Stroud's rookie season was because of losing a guy like Noah Brown. Noah Brown was so key to the Houston Texans team when C.J. Stroud was a rookie, and he was a guy that C.J. Stroud connected with on a lot of deep passes, especially in 2 of the biggest wins of the season against the Buccaneers and the Buccaneers and the Bengals in those 2 wins. Also, here's another thing, and I love Tank Dell. I'm going to say this. Sure, the Texans won't have Tank Dell next season, but here's another thing. Tank Dell was not doing amazing when it came to running deep routes this year. He was getting beat a lot on deep routes. There were a couple, deep routes that he made a lot of nice catches on, like the catch that ended his season against the Chiefs was an amazing catch. He had one against the Jets, was a phenomenal throw by CJ, and an amazing catch by Tank. But that really worked in Tank's rookie year was CJ taking deep shots to Tank and them, connecting with each other on deep routes. And sure, there were a lot of those, or not a lot of those, but a good amount of those this season in 2024 for Stroud and Dell, but not as much as the rookie season. So Stroud really lost 2 of his favorite deep shot weapons in 2024 this season with Noah Brown and Tank Dell. Not only did he get injured at the end of the season, but was not as effective as he was in his rookie season when it came to running deep routes. And I think that's something that Christian Kirk is going to do a lot for this Houston Texans team. Another thing that I think he's going to really help with will be yards after catch. He was huge with yards after catch look, sure, this season a little bit, but he didn't play that much this year, so I don't really want to go off of this year. But in his first 2 seasons in Jacksonville was huge off of yards after catch. I think if C.J. Stroud can connect with him and he can find open space, that's going to be great for this Houston Texans team, and that's going to be great as well. But the third thing I think is going to help a lot with this team that I think is key is taking a load off Nico Collins. Like, for instance, and I think this is a great example right here. Nico Collins played terrible in the Chiefs division round game. And why did Nico Collins play terrible in the division round playoff game when they lost to the Chiefs? Because he was double teamed, sometimes triple teamed every play. And it was impossible for him to do that and have a game like he did against the Chargers against that Chiefs defense. And here's my point. If you have Christian Kirk in that game against the Kansas City Chiefs, sure, look, I think you're probably able to double team Nico Collins. I don't think it's a biggie to double Nico Collins if Christian Kirk is in the game. But it's going to be very hard to triple team Nico Collins if you have Christian Kirk on the field. And if you do triple team Nico Collins and Christian Kirk is on the field, Christian Kirk's going to have one amazing day. So I think on days where Nico Collins, or games I think on games that Nico Collins is getting absolutely attacked by a defense, that's a game where you see C.J. Stroud and Christian Kirk have a lot of huge connections with each other. Or not only that, but the fact that Nico Collins might see less attention defensively if it's him out there on the field with Christian Kirk and John Mechie instead of him on the field with like John Mechie or Robert Woods. With those two guys. I don't know if the Texans add to this wide receiver room this offseason. If they, if they make another addition, I would hope so. I would love this Texans team to still re-sign Stephon Diggs. Those that are thinking that that's off the table now, I would say not. I think the only thing that would make Diggs not want to re-sign with this team would be the fact that the money, I think, would really be one of the only really big issues for him, not Christian Kirk joining the team. He's a great wide receiver. I mean, he had a 1,000-yard season in 2022 with 1,108 receiving yards, but his numbers have gone down the last couple years. I think his numbers can go up if it's just him and Nico Collins on the Texans. But like Stephon Diggs didn't have a problem coming to this team when it was playing with Tank Dell and Nico Collins. I don't see why he would have a problem joining Christian Kirk and Nico Collins. And then, for instance, like I don't think Christian Kirk didn't have a problem with it last year. He started off his season playing with two wide receivers like Brian Thomas and Gabe Davis. So both guys, Christian Kirk and Stephon Diggs have played on stacked wide receiver course this year with, Kirk playing with Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas, and then Diggs playing with Dell and Nico Collins. So I definitely think there's a good chance that we see, Diggs join this Houston Texans team for a second season. But I think the only problem is going to be is the money aspect of things. Let me know your thoughts on the Houston Texans trading for Christian Kirk, and what do you think he brings to this team? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.